For many aspiring footballers in China, their best bet is to go overseas for elite training. But some football academies in China are now challenging that thinking. Lionel Donovan shows us how they are taking new approaches to developing young talent on the pitch as we continue our week-long look at the growth of the game in China.
As a pioneer in the way China trains youth football players, the Lijiang Taishan Football School chose another way. Back in July of 2014, Lijiang Brazil Sports Center officially opened in Sao Paulo, which allowed Lijiang to both send their students to Sao Paulo for training and hire 4 Brazilian coaches to send to China. In your time here, what do you think is the difference between the way football is taught here versus the way it's taught in Brazil?
The first day I got here, I started trying to improve the youth training environment in China, especially in Lijiang Football School. In Brazil, the focus on our players is multifaceted. We don't just pay attention to their performance on the pitch, but everything else outside the pitch. Secondly, some coaches' concept of football isn't advanced. We came here trying to bring them progressive football concepts, and so far I think we have achieved that goal.
Yu Chonglei is part of the first batch of players who went to Brazil for training. And before that, he trained in the Lijiang Football School for 8 years. After training for 3 months in Brazil, he was able to recognize the differences between the training methods of the two countries.
The greatest feeling for me in Brazil is getting to train with foreigners and also to compete with them. The friendly matches helped me to improve very quickly. 3 months of training in Brazil equals 1 or 2 years in China.
And Lijiang isn't the only football school in the country that is trying this new way of training.
In our school, the process of choosing talent, training, organizing matches, and assessment are all carried out by our Real Madrid team. My mission is to let the Chinese coaches get a feel for the training ideas and the methods. And after 2 years, it turned out the Spanish concepts were right.
With all the different training methods out there, the essential part is the coach. As more kids in China get into playing football, the question becomes, will China have enough coaches to fill the demand?
There will be a huge lack of coaches. It all starts with the issue of the coach's interest. Why would the coach like to stay here to teach kids how to play football? Who are they? And what would their salaries be? About a year ago, the Hunan City Council spent more than 1 million RMB to pay for coaches, around 6,000 to 7 RMB per coach for 1 month, and let them teach in the communities or in schools. According to the Japanese Football Association, all the Japanese players who are willing to be a professional coach are required to have certain hours to teach the community with no pay. I had an interview with the JFA secretary. He said that free teaching is the key reason behind Japan's success in football in the past 20 years. But in China, many professional football players or coaches have very limited social resources. If there was some kind of incentive to do what they do in Japan, their energy will be activated. So I strongly recommend there should be a professional player plan, where after an old professional footballer retires, they could have the opportunity to teach the kids.
What do we need most right now? Professional coaches. We could learn from Japan and train the kids and coaches at the same time and let more qualified coaches into the school for football. I believe if we do that, it will yield twice the result with half the effort.
There are still many things left to be tested in the current training system, and only time will tell if the system is strong. But one thing is for sure, any system cannot be successful without taking live matches into account. In the next episode, we'll take a look at the meaning of those matches.